Let's take a look at how this boy managed to earn over $10,000 a day. He carefully scraped off the date on the check, secretly changed the numbers to the current date, and soaked many model airplanes in the bathtub, waiting for them to soften. He used tweezers to remove the airline logo and pasted it onto the forged check. Then, with great confidence, he went to the bank to cash these checks. Finally, by using some sweet words and his handsome face to distract women, he made his first pot of gold. Since then, things got more and more out of control. In just 3 years, he defrauded the bank of $4 million. He was hailed as the most legendary con man in the United States. But forging checks was just his most commonly used method. He also pretended to be a pilot and took free flights to travel to 26 countries. He even pretended to be a doctor and eventually became a department head in charge of 6 interns and 20 nurses. He even pretended to be a US Secret Service agent and played tricks on the federal agents who were chasing him. And he was only 16 years old at that time. The most surprising thing is that this is a true story. Frank was initially a transfer student. On his first day at school, he was bullied by a bully. When he got to the classroom, he was laughed at because he dressed like a teacher. So he came up with an idea. He turned around and wrote his name on the blackboard. His voice left a deep impression on the students. Then Frank pulled that bully onto the podium and asked him to read the French textbook aloud in public. His terrible pronunciation caused a burst of laughter. Then the real substitute teacher came. Frank got into the act again and directly told the woman that he had been substituting here and was waiting for the principal to come and understand the situation. Frank taught French for a week. He even held a parents' meeting yesterday and his mother had nothing to say about it. His mother was French and had taught Frank French since he was a child, yet her son was playing tricks on his classmates. On the contrary, his father laughed with Frank because his son's ability to deceive was inherited from him. One day, not long after, his father's company got involved in a tax fraud case. Even though old Frank sold his luxury car and the family moved from a big house to an apartment, they still couldn't make up for the deficit and get the company up and running again. The father decided to take Frank to the bank to apply for a loan. Before that, they went to a clothing store. His son needed to rent a suit to dress up, but the shop owner refused, saying there was no rental business. So the father resorted to his special trick.
Darcy, is this yours? It must have slipped right off your neck.